good morning to you on this Friday. And the weather is nice and warm out there, and but we still have a lot of pollen. So that goes like that. Before we go into this morning's show, we're going to hear from station owner, Mr. Wes Cookman. He's going to chat with us for a little bit, bring us up to date on some things, and also we're glad to see him moving around. And he's been here this week.
Yes.
And so, Wes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Troy. I do want to say my doctors did approve. I'm not fighting any kind of instructions. So being down here this week has been very important. I did want to say thank you to really the entire community. There's so many people Kim and I want to thank, and we will do that at appropriate times in appropriate ways. But the support and the love and the kindness that we have been receiving, we're extremely grateful. And I just wanted folks to hear my voice and let you know that obviously this is a very difficult time. It was a month ago yesterday that Sandy's surgery, and many friends in the Widu family have shown me texts that she sent you and different conversations. She was just telling you what they were telling us, that out of her 4 surgeries, this was going to be the easiest. I was sitting there when the surgeon had told her, because I had mentioned I had researched them just like you do, and I obviously was trying to make sure, I did all I could for her. And I mentioned that I see where Duke does over 1,000 of these open heart surgeries per year and a very high success rate. He said, "Oh, she's apprehensive." She was sitting right there. And I said, "Well, of course, a little bit." And he looked over at her, and one of the things he said to her, "You're going to be fine." So, our expectations after the incredible surgeries that Dr. Long had performed, that everybody was praying with us, we obviously didn't see this coming. We do accept that none of us know the day or the hour, and we respect that. One of the things, Sandy loved this radio station, which is why Kim and I appreciate you guys continuing all these great programs. Several years ago, we had what I would consider a lucrative offer, and Sandy really believed in a marriage. She felt like, somebody needs to lead, so she was always very supportive. But I said, "Baby, what do you want to do?" She said, "I want to do this till we die." She loved We Do Radio. And one interesting thing, after all those trips to the hospital, and you guys were there with us so many times, she had kind of learned ICU protocols, Doc. And so she had a little bag where hidden in the bag was her laptop, and my instructions, because we were used to her walking the night of the surgery, so I was supposed to sneak in the laptop so she could be doing We Do stuff even in ICU. So she loved this radio station, so thank you so much. I did want to mention, Troy, we had a sweet lady come by yesterday, and she was saying how much she misses 98.5 FM, and I told staff, it's fine. Look, here's the deal. I do not understand why 2 days before Sandy's second surgery, we had a major break-in. You went over there with me, and we're on a tower owned by Vertical Bridge, but they've been a great partner with us, and they were hit for thousands of dollars worth of copper. And amazingly, just a few days before Sandy's surgery, this time, we were off the air, called our engineer. He came down from Virginia, and he sent me a text. He said, "We've had another break-in," and he showed me the lock that had the bolt cutters. So I don't know what else to do, but to be candid with you, we do have a tower company coming in, and so we will get 98.5 FM back on. Part of what happened was the timing. Obviously, during Sandy's surgery and that following week, our focus was on Sandy. And at the appropriate time, we'll be glad to share that testimony. I appreciate everybody praying, and I want everybody to know those prayer lines. We would take the phones and hold them up to Sandy's ear so she could hear. And one of those nights, I'll just give you this piece of the testimony. The doctor had told me on Thursday after her surgery that it was a perfect surgery. So I text many of you guys that. That's what we were being told. But on Saturday, the ICU doctor, and it threw me for a loop. He was saying her numbers have gone down, and if they keep going down, she's not going to make it. So I was wobbly, started sweating, all you can imagine. But what happened, I reached out to Dr. Wells, and she got that prayer team going, and y'all prayed at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, where they were expecting her not to be here, her numbers started going back up. And the next morning, that same doctor came to me. He said, "Chief, your prayer worked." And then he also came back a few minutes later and said, "Tell everybody to keep praying." So I can't explain to you why everything happened the way that it did, but I want you to know that Kim and I are extremely grateful for the kindness, the love, the compassion, and sometimes in life things happen. I can't make sense of all of this, and I know so many hearts are broken, not just Kim and myself. Sandy was such a angel and a special person, so it's a difficult time. We respect not only for us and our family, but for so many who love this vision in this station. So I just want you to know, we appreciate your prayers. Please keep praying with us and for us. I know you will. And I appreciate all the team that continues the great programming. I just believe the Lord lets us in heaven look down, and I've got to believe that Sandy's smiling, that we do. Y'all have kept, inspiration, information going, and for everyone praying with us, just know that our commitment to that is stronger than ever. And we've had some wonderful folks reach out and offer to do wonderful things. So we're looking forward to a very inspiring year as we obviously celebrate Sandy, but we also continue the vision that she and I together established a long time ago. We're very grateful for that. What was it? Okay, the FM tower, then also the water. Believe it or not, the morning of Sandy's surgery here at the radio station when Troy came in, the building was flooded. And we had a water catastrophe, I guess you call it. I do thank State Farm Insurance. They have been helping us. That's who we've been insured with since 2018. God bless them. And you guys, y'all jumped right on it. Water can be so bad, if you don't, jump on it. And you guys did. So when you come by the radio station today on Murchison Road and you see the pod out front, we're not moving. What it is, we're taking things to get out of the way. There's still the water has been mitigated. Now the repairs are going to take about another 30 days or so. So we're kind of under construction, and we don't want anybody to have anything they can trip on. So hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow, any of that type items will be in the pod. But I do help us put out that word. Widu is not moving. The Lord blessed us with this wonderful place on Murchison Road, and we love being here. We're just walking through our valley experience, and I know so many are walking through that with us. And we believe that there's going to be a wonderful testimony. We know that that Sandy is in the hands in the Lord's arms, and we thank God for that. Our hearts are broken. I remember one of our listeners who his wife wanted to be with the Lord, and he had told me some time ago when we first started on this journey, he said, that he thanked God that the Lord had brought her through those surgeries. And he said those very words. He said, but just remember, Wes, if it hadn't have gone this way, she would be in a better place, but our hearts would be broke. And we're just walking through that together. But Troy, thank you so much, brother. I love you. Appreciate all you're doing. Pastor Brinkley, the staff, all of our friends that are coming. You're doing what Sandy would want us to do, keeping the vision of inspiration and information. And just maybe, it feels like just yesterday, she and I it couldn't have been, I guess yesterday, a month since the surgery. So Pastor Brinkley, it might have been 5 or 6 weeks ago now. We were driving down the street, and one of those beautiful buses came by, and she mentioned that warm spot in her heart that the Widu family was a part of a coalition that back in 2008 had advocated and made a difference on the buses. And this is who she was. She didn't want any credit. She didn't care who knew. She knew in her heart, that the wonderful bus riders, today have a much better situation than we did back when the buses were leaning to the side and billowing smoke and catching on fire. And, Sandy was that key for us, as you guys know. So I could talk on, and I'm sure we will do some conversations at some point. But let's see, 98.5 is coming back on. We got a tower crew coming in. I don't know, it may take a week, but we'll get that back on, and we will have better security cameras this next time so that we're going to stop those break-ins out there in the country. I started to give the location of the tower, but that's probably not smart. That probably wouldn't be the wisest thing to do, right, Doc? Let's see what else. And the water here, by the time we finish, we believe we'll be better than we were before. And the building is totally safe, but and the equipment is safe. Some of the equipment got damaged, and but you guys were troopers. I think one day your equipment in here wouldn't work, and somehow, I don't know how y'all did it. Y'all kept the programming going, so I appreciate that. Troy, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody that's been praying for us. I have so many people texting, how are you doing? I said, well, it's a lot of tears, and any of our friends that have been through grief and the loss of a loved one, I'm sure you understand, where we are. But one thing we've committed to do is just take this one day at a time, and we do trust God in all things. And even when we don't understand it, Proverbs 3:5 was a favorite scripture before, and so much now. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not on thy own understanding. I don't think I ever really appreciated that scripture as much as right now, because my own understanding, I don't understand it. But I do believe that the reality is we're all eventually going to be where Sandy is. Life doesn't last forever for any of us.
Right.
So thank you for those kind words of encouragement. My brothers call me and check on me and give me those words of encouragement. But and you both are anointed to help folks in grief, which Sandy and I have always really appreciated what you guys do. It's got to be the hardest thing in life that I know of. Maybe there's something more difficult. I can't think of it. And y'all are anointed to do that. So thank you for what you do. Love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
Yes.
Well, look, that was station owner Wes Cookman, and very touching testimony. As he stated, as we move forward, more will be said, and we have an opportunity to exchange. We invite you to continue praying for the station and for all of our friends, and as the scripture says, even for your enemies, pray for them too, okay? Mm-hmm. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a break now so that we can come back and we can have an uninterrupted discussion. We will continue a discussion that we started on yesterday, talking about data centers, and we have a guest in today. We're going to be talking more about that, but let's go to a break, Reverend Carl, and after that break, then we'll go into this discussion, and we'll let that lead up until the 9 o'clock hour. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
The Senate has passed new funding for the Department of Homeland Security, putting the wheels in motion to end the partial government shutdown and reconnect TSA workers with a paycheck. The bill funds DHS without funding to ICE and Customs and Border Protection. A federal judge has upheld North Carolina voter ID law, rejecting the lawsuit from the NAACP that claimed it was discriminatory. U.S. District Judge Loretta Biggs ruled that while the law may impact minority voters, recent Supreme Court precedent requires it stand. Governor Josh Stein is asking lawmakers for nearly $800 million to fund the next phase of Hurricane Helene recovery in western North Carolina. The governor says, let's match that grit and meet them with the urgency they deserve. The military conflict in Iran continues, but the president has announced he will hold off on military strikes targeting Iranian energy infrastructure. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Cumberland County says now is the time to ignite your future. Applications for the Ignite internship program close March 31st. Are you a high school or college student age 16 and up? Gain hands-on experience, explore careers in public service, and develop skills that will set you apart. Work with experienced mentors, build your network, and see what a career in government can really look like this summer. Don't miss your chance to take the first step toward your future. For more information and how to apply, go to the county's Facebook page. Cumberland County Schools say don't miss the food and supply distribution drive-through hosted by Cumberland County Schools. That's happening during spring break tomorrow. That is 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. while supplies last at 810 Gillespie Street. Students must be present in the vehicle to receive items. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
Good morning. It's a warm and windy day. High temperatures reach the mid to upper 80s, approaching records for some areas. There will be a chance for showers and storms, though, this evening into tonight. Tonight, lows dip into the low to mid 40s after the rain clears out, and it's cooler and breezy behind our front tomorrow. Plenty of sun, but highs only climb into the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the NCN Weather Center.
They let me hold it, but I'm still holy. Ain't no changing, but I'm still
Good.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elder Betty Anthony. I attend Kingdom Impact Global Ministries, where our apostle is William T. Ford. I am here to introduce our powerful Easter production called The Crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Come and witness the story that changed everything. The date is April 5th, 2026. Our doors will open at 6 o'clock, and the program will start at 7. Here, we have Pontius Pilate, played by Pastor Travis Stroud.
Hello, everyone. A man was brought before me, in whom I found no fault. But pressure was on me from the Jewish leader, and I washed my hands from the blood of this innocent man. You all come out and see the rest of the show.
Again, come out on April the 5th. Doors open at 6 and the production start at 7 o'clock. Come and witness the story that changed everything. You don't want to miss it.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're back now. It is 25 minutes after the hour. We won't break until the top of the hour. We have in the studios with us, we have Miss Angela Tatum. She's in to discuss a further discussion of what we discussed yesterday with the mayor, Mitch Colvin, the chairman of the Board of Commissioners was in for a brief time, and that is Kirk Deviere and also Commissioner Henry Tyson. Mm-hmm. And we have on the line with us Donovan, affectionately called DL. Good morning, DL.
Hey, good morning to you and Miss Angela.
Good morning.
And also, as I stated, good morning, Angela. How you doing?
Good morning, Troy. I'm doing well.
Excellent. Well, look, we're gonna try to unpack as much stuff as we can. That's why I have them here to move the break. Well, to begin with, I was following the questions and the dialogue that while they were speaking, you guys.
We were in there.
You were
trying to get as much.
You was adding stuff to it. So, my question would be though, what you heard yesterday, did you hear anything that you felt like was inaccurate? And if you did, tell us specifically what you believe to be inaccurate and give us the correct information.
Okay. And, there were many things, so I won't try to go through all of them so we can kind of flow through the conversation. But I just want to start first with the disclaimer about our little small group of 10 using AI or ChatGPT for how we get our information. Just like the City Council has a team of 10, we have a team of around 10 or more. And we spend hours upon hours reading, watching videos. There's a little feature when you Google, you can do one of two things. You can get, remember back in the day we had Cliff Notes, the little yellow book? You can get the Cliff Notes version. You click that little button and it'll give you a synopsis of what the articles and everything are basically saying. Or you can actually scroll up and read the articles. So I just want to, put that out there that I can't speak for anyone else that may choose to use ChatGPT or, AI, but we are a team that we are reading, researching, meeting. We're very methodical about how we're approaching this because we know a lot of people don't have that time. So I just wanted to, put that out there.
Let me add this point, though.
Yes.
Now, but understand now, it's the council is not a member of 10. They have a full staff of
I'm glad you brought that up.
all that. I
And
mean,
guess-
it's just they're not by themselves.
And we're not by ourselves. That's
okay,
the thing.
I know, but I'm just because you stated that. Right.
So I wanted to put it out there. People only see the regular 10, even though we will show that at the county forums and it's more people coming out. But we have people behind the scene, just like what was said yesterday for the elected official side that may not come before and speak, but they're behind the scenes. So we have, multiple people. We have one of our members that she's traveling different places, how Mitch and Kirk travel different places to hear things. So I just want people to know that we're very organized in how we approach this. And we meet monthly. We have our strategic meetings. Our last strategic meeting for this year, it was about 7 to 8 hours. Like we come and approach this community work very seriously. It's not just people coming together because, we're keyboard warriors and we're wanting to be the loudest voices. We are really out there engaging community and hearing from them and then bringing back, what they're sharing. Because for me, probably 80 to 90%, except for this data center situation, what I'm out there advocating for, I didn't experience. It's not going to affect my life. I, have things pretty good. I'm out there for the community that I'm hearing from. If I put my own application to things, my advocacy may look different. So I just want to make sure we get that out there that, we are beyond just the 10,
Okay, we got that point.
There you go.
Next thing.
So one of the things that was said was there's a few hundred data centers in North Carolina programmed to being built or are already here. That was stated by the Mayor Mitch. Actually, there are currently 5 operate, and I'm talking North Carolina. There are 5 operating. There's 1 that is under construction, and there are 12 proposed or in the RFP requests for proposal stage, which does include the one at Fort Bragg. As of March, kind of updating our information, we have found that 4 proposals have been withdrawn, and 6 are in communities with either a current moratorium, leaving only 2 that are still in the proposal stage. So when we put numbers out there, we don't want hundreds of data centers in North Carolina or, being programmed. That's not true. And here's the thing, we don't have to exaggerate the numbers. Even if it's 5, it's okay if it's 5. If it's 10, it's okay if it's 10. We don't need to try to encourage the community by having these over-exaggerated numbers. So that was one.
Well, okay, but that's your take on it. That's his take on it.
No, not my take. You can, and what I'm going to leave everyone, and we're going to put in the chat, are the links where they can go. So I hear that a lot in the work that I do. Well, that's your opinion, that's your take. I don't operate on I just told you earlier, if I go on my opinion and my take on things, my perspective and my advocacy would probably look different. I'm going by what can actually be read. Now, if the mayor can show us where it's written that there's hundreds of data centers in North Carolina, then we can take those two sources.
I don't think that he said.
No,
that,
he did. I watched it back and I wrote his words.
I know, but don't interrupt me
Okay.
now. Don't interrupt me.
Okay.
We're not gonna do that. Okay.
All right.
I'm saying is that I went back and listened to it twice, and I'm not sure that his exact words were there were hundreds, but he was talking about, and I'm not trying to defend him, but I want to be clear as to what was said.
Yes.
He was talking about proposals to bring things and all that. So now, if you're saying that he said that it was hundreds here already, I didn't hear that. Okay, but we can, let's roll on.
So, well, before on that, I didn't say that he said hundreds were here. He said there are a few hundred data centers in North Carolina programmed to being built or already here. And these, I made sure that I played the recording and wrote word for word. So as I'm going through the things that he's saying, I ran the show yesterday, stopped, started, so I could get his words, not put my words in, so that I could respond to it.
Okay, next
All right.
point. Mhm.
All right. Duke Energy has capacity for data centers. Duke Energy, we know, does not have the current capacity. They've even admitted themselves that they don't. And we know that it's going to take years for them to, bring the necessary capacity that is going to be required, and also millions of dollars. And we know that that cost is going to be transferred to the consumer.
A question out of what you just stated. How do we know that it's going to take years?
The link that we're going to send you, you can read what was said.
I know, but you see, this is my question. Obviously, even the data centers themselves are evolving. And this one time, I'm old enough to remember when I walked around with this in a bag, and now it's this something like here. This technology here probably is as much technology that they use to send a man to the moon. And I remember when I worked in public service, this technology here would fill half this room. I'm just wondering, that is a prediction, but do we know? I mean, because even as we speak right now, this right here has already been replaced. And everything you have over there has already been replaced. To say that technology would take so much time to do that, because I'm listening to people that would know more than we know. I mean, the guy that started the whole Microsoft thing himself, he said that the flow of technology and the speed with which it is growing, he can't predict where we'll be from year to year.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring you back, because what tends to happen in some of these conversations is that we'll start off with responding to what's said and then kind of veer into it. All I said was it would take years to bring Duke up to the capacity that's needed for everything that you just described.
So
that's it.
Is Duke saying that?
Yes. We're going to leave links for you to read. And also, even just to complete a data center is 3 to 5 years. So, and this can be easily found, whether you want to use ChatGPT or you actually want to read, the articles and the links that we'll share. But that's what's being said. And that's why it's important to not only talk to the people that are the ones that want to come into the community and bring the data centers. Our elected officials have to hear from others. They cannot only hear from one side. I described that meeting in January like it was a timeshare, because we were hearing from the very person that would benefit from data centers coming in the community. And I talked with him afterwards, and I critiqued his presentation and pointed out some things, and he admitted, several things, like the jobs are not described as it's, purported, to be, and where the percentages of them, majority of them being janitorial and other jobs, and then there's, a smaller, the jobs at the top. And also with our current education system And full disclosure and transparency, yes, I do homeschool. I've homeschooled for 24 years, but I do keep up with the education system. My mom retired from teaching in this education system, and we are not where we need to be to have students prepared to be able to take the top jobs, engineering jobs that we're saying that's going to come. So again, it's just about just being transparent. Just tell people, give people the information and trust that they will, take from it what they want to take, and not exaggerate numbers, not add things, not switch from, but just give people, and then also make sure that your research is involving, what is actually out there.
Sure.
And I know you're going to respond to that. I'm going to go to the Huntsville comment that he brought up.
But hold on. I want to get the bite size of what you're saying. Your words, this person would benefit. So you do not believe that data centers would benefit the community?
We'll get down to that in some other facts, but when I said what person would benefit, you said this person.
You said that they would listen to the person that would benefit from it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, my question to you
the
is,
consultant, yes.
I know, but I'm saying, you don't believe that the community would benefit from it?
Guess what, Troy? We don't know. And I'm going to bring up the information from
Huntsville.
Huntsville.
The reason I ask that is because, look, I'm going to veer off a little bit here. Look, the UNC system, because I'm talking about the UNC education system in North Carolina that runs all of our state-run universities. They use data centers. According to what I read about them, they use them. And so, I mean, they're already here and people are using them, but it's not like they're selling hamburgers here. You see what I'm saying? And that the hamburger maker is the only person that's benefited from this. So when you say a consultant benefits from it, it would appear that our whole state university system is already benefiting from it.
Using something does not equate to benefiting from it. Okay? So you gave an example of it being used, and you also used the analogy with the hamburger. Are hamburgers good for us, Troy, to be eating all the time? So just because, we have someone that say, hey, I got the best hamburger for you, and it's the person that owns the cattle farm, and they're coming to you, but then there's some doctors want to say, hey, slow down. We don't want you to say now all of a sudden we just always want to eat hamburgers just because this person is coming with all the benefits of eating their hamburgers. You need to hear from those that can let you know and warn you about the possible negative side of eating hamburgers every single day.
Well, perhaps that was a bad example using food.
I'm just using your
but
example.
I'm saying is that the UNC system,
which I'm a part of and in,
uses data centers. Now, of course, they have rules with what students can do. And the reason I know that, because I happened to be on campus with our student intern here a couple weeks ago, and he's interning here, and I saw and I read what he could and couldn't do when it comes to AI. AI rather, when it comes to his class. But I'm saying is that clearly though, we have a very large university system, and they acknowledge that they use data centers to help do what they do.
They use AI and ChatGPT and all the other names, and those systems, operate from data centers. But again, like I said, using something doesn't mean that there's a benefit. And they have not been here long enough to even see and know the benefit.
Let's go global, because I'm just saying is that if we're going to say this is here, and it is here, look, according to what I was able to research, 74% of all of the research done globally is attached to some type of AI or a data center-based type situation. I mean, that would translate into about 6 billion people. Now, of course, there are parts of it when you talk about the medical profession and the individuals that are at universities, that it drops down to like in the 40s and the 30s. But overall, that's what people are using.
Yeah, but when we take, so what you just did there is you went to the macro size. I want to stay micro because, you know, we're not trying to make a decision in another state, another country, anything. On the micro level, what I'm saying is just because it's used does not mean that the community that it's going into is going to benefit. Because that's what, we're not talking about benefiting as far as someone being able to cut off some hours from actually reading something. I'm saying the benefits as far as the community. They have not been proven. So the mayor mentioned that him and Chair Deviere went to Huntsville, Alabama. He named 3 places, and I have them, but we won't have time for me to get into all, but with Huntsville. And I'm going to get to my notes on that. So he mentioned about, he said, county chairman and I went down to Huntsville, Alabama, where Meta has invested $1 billion. Well, there's promises of investments, but there has not been any investments. And they only had to reach out to the state representative, Representative Lee Hulsey, and she is quoted as stating that they are, they're not impressed with what was promised and what they're actually seeing because the tax incentives and the revenue, it's not meeting the expectations. This is the actual representative for Huntsville, Alabama, where they went. So my question is, as elected officials, did our elected officials speak to their elected officials to find out, like, you know, did they speak to the community members, or did they only go down and speak to like-minded people that they're hearing up here? And again, I'm going back to, they have to diversify who they're hearing from.
So you're saying that they did not contribute $1 billion?
No, they did not.
Okay. And you know that because?
Because Representative Lee Hulsey, who is the House representative for that, you know how we have our state delegations, whatever, she's the House representative for Huntsville, Alabama.
Specifically, that question was asked to her, and she said, no, they did not give that money.
Correct. And I'm going to put the link for that where you can read her words, not mine.
Okay.
Okay. So again, you know, how are we going to trust that they're bringing us information if they're not going to expose themselves to all of the information, not the one-sided information? They need to hear, if they're going to go in other communities, hear from the community members as well. Don't just only go and hear from the people that propose the data centers in that community, and then you're like, well, they said this and they said that. We are at a position now where it's all only been promises. Nothing is on record where there's actual benefits, where they met the promises made.
But it sounds like this, I'm hearing this though, because I'm hearing 2 sides of something. Okay, you saying that they said it was stated, and you saying that it's not. And regardless of what clip you get from a legislative leader there, even in our community here, what people say is not always true. Just because you got elected and
You're right.
and you put your hand on the Bible
You're
and
exactly
you go
right.
to your Joan Summit,
That's
don't
right.
mean you tell the truth any more than anybody else. Correct?
Exactly. So
And
that
I'm
means
saying that's
even
my
our
point.
county, yep, and with our city commissioner, they put their hands on the Bible and they do the
Well,
things.
I'm saying-
does not mean that they're going to tell us the truth.
But you're talking about somebody in Alabama. I mean,
The city that he stated.
I know that, but I'm saying,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but they went there, and now you're saying that we don't need to believe them?
Did I say that?
No, I'm asking that question.
No, what I'm saying is speak to the representative from the very city that you named that you went to.
I mean, what I'm saying, I don't know that they didn't, or that they did. I don't know.
So
You know
we can
what I mean?
ask them.
All right, well, that's fine.
That'd be a good
but
question. Yeah, that would be a good
rather
question.
than cast doubt, let's just say there's some unanswered questions, correct?
Hey, Troy.
Oh.
Yeah, Dia.
Yeah, I've been listening to you. I want to chime in, and Miss Tatum, you bring some good points to the table. So here's what I want to talk about. Both of y'all for like 30, 45 seconds. So I'm up here in the western part of the state. York County, South Carolina borders, Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. There's a lot of signs out, Troy, saying no data centers. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 different counties. Rowan County and Salisbury got the largest VA in the state, off 85. The majority of those residents have been bamboozled. They said there was no transparency, and the majority of them do not want data centers. But they say they're disappointed in their commissioner. Now go over to Hickory, which has Lenore Ryan College and Maiden, and Hickory's the county seat, Newton and Conover. Those folks are not putting up a fuss because they looking for the tax incentives. They know the jobs are not coming. They think about the benefits to the community and the tax base. And I'll throw it back to y'all. I'll say this: no matter what it brings to the community, not one life is worth a data center until we get these studies done. However, when we have elected officials, they're going to make the final decision, and I don't think the state is going to stand in the way. So that's just what I wanted to add in there.
Well, that's what Commissioner Tyson said, that legally we can't prevent them from coming to our community. What I heard also was that this is an evolving technology, and that concerns about noise and energy usage and the use of water to cool them are things that are on the declining scale, not the increasing scale. And so I guess my question is to you, Angela, is there any place where we can have compromise with people that don't want them?
I think the compromise comes from, one, having a moratorium and really hear the community and take the time, not rushing, not trying to just hear them to pacify, where you can check off that we heard from the community, so now let's go, but really hear from the community. A lot of the problem with the transparency in this community is not always that they are saying that we have to agree with everything that is decided, but a lot of times things are decided behind closed doors. You know, we're having to worry about, the city or the county going into an NDA, which will then, close everything off. There are too many tactics that are used where the trust in the community. I just went to a community meeting in my own community in Haymount, and it was overwhelmingly that there is not a trust. So when there's a trust issue, you do what you can to build the trust. So that's part of the compromise. Let me build your trust.
I know, I can appreciate what you're saying, but that's not really what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm asking, we're talking about physical structures that are doing things. I'm just saying is that, okay, what is it that alarms you about this? And is there a middle ground that you can accept data centers being in our community?
Now, are you asking me, the individual? Because remember I said I have a different...
I'm asking you as the individual
Me
now.
as an individual, I would not want a data center at all because I'm about holistic health. I'm also a part of a multi-million-dollar research project, and we don't use AI at all. It's a 5-year project that we're bringing not only quantitative data, but qualitative data in an area that usually only has quantitative data. And I also, just a few days ago, was at the Cumberland County Perinatal Task Force meeting. The county is over public health. We can't keep having meetings after meetings and research projects after research projects wanting to find out why women are experiencing disparities, why Black women are dying 3 times the rate of white women and non-Black women for the same issues that all are exposed to. We can't see higher rates of childhood diabetes and obesity and conditions that we at one time were adult conditions, and now they're going into our children because environmental factors affect our health. So to me, it's an oxymoron to say, on the one side, we're here to, put money and solve those health determinants. But on the other side, we're going to bring in the very thing that leads to causing those health determinants. You can't have both. So that's me individually, because you asked what my opinion.
Right, but
now, the community.
But the groups that you are associated with, is that a group think primarily that no matter what they say or they do, we're going to be against data centers.
And that's the beautiful thing about this group with Fayetteville Freedom for All and the larger group that came out and showed up on Monday, is it's all over the place. That's why we need to have the time to hear. There are some people that are saying, yes, it's coming, let's get some, reasonable regulations. There are some saying, no, not at all. There are some saying, okay, well, let's have the smaller size. There are some saying 1 year moratorium, some saying 6 months, some saying 3 years. That's the beauty thing about having a coalition of the community and having our elected officials listen to them. Like Commissioner Tyson said, not just listening to him, because he said he heard them. Now, we're used to our mayor listening to us, but it's hearing us. And
okay, I understand. But let's not pick on him in particular on this issue.
No,
here.
I said Tyson. Okay,
I got you. But I'm saying is that
that was fair.
What is your group saying, or what do you believe? How many data centers are in America, United States of America?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not focusing on America. I'm focusing on Fayetteville, North Carolina.
I know that, but look,
okay.
I am. Because I want to know how many are there in America. Because I have a number that I've seen, but I want to know, what do you all think?
Again, Fayetteville Freedom for All, we've been very vocal that we intentionally don't focus on national issues as a whole. So I'm not going to throw a number.
But it's a knowledge that I think that we need to have.
I don't. For me personally, I don't need to know the numbers that are in America. I just need to know what's in Cumberland County. That's all.
Okay, well,
because what happens in California is not going to affect me so directly as what happens to me in Cumberland County.
Okay, the number I come up with is something like 5,300, something like that. Okay, and not only that, even globally, of course, they say that the data that I saw say that this country is leading in those.
Okay.
Next is Germany. And then you have China, and then you have Canada.
Okay.
That's the data
that's a macro
that's what I'm saying, right? So I'm saying
I'm focused on the micro, but okay.
But the macro perspective, don't you think it's going to affect us at some point? I mean,
I don't. So
how can all of the world be doing something, Angela, and we just say no, we ain't gonna do it, and it doesn't affect us at all. I don't understand that.
I come from a generation, and it's right after, I think, kind of on the tail end of your generation, where my mama used to tell me, if everybody is jumping off for a bridge, do you have to go right along with them? So just because the macro is doing things, does that mean you have to? No. Or we may. Again, I'm bringing it back to take the time to hear from the community. And don't be afraid. So it may be like how Commissioner Devier mentioned, maybe it's a guiding of the community. Maybe the community will still come out and say no. Maybe the elected officials will say, we've given the time that y'all requested, we're still answering this way. But my thing is, don't shy away from a moratorium because we don't want to be left out. One of the comments that was made also was, this community has a history of missing out on opportunities. This community wants development, responsible development, mixed use development, dense development. We want to see, I don't want to have my 5 children and my 9, soon to be 11 grandchildren in a community that I'm barely holding to keep them in, to be in a community that does not have growth and development, and that they can have the life that I had. So we want that, but we don't have to do it at the detriment of our health.
So, but now, I think I understand what, I think the mayor said that, but all of us in the room that are old enough agree with that comment about this community has done that. I mean,
has done what?
We've done things to our detriment when it comes to change. Okay.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the Interstate 95 system began in 1956 and it ended in 1980. There was a sticking point here. We didn't process that well here. I'm old enough to know that. Okay.
And as yesterday said, the leadership.
And I'm saying, and then when the federal government was allowing all of our rural areas around us, haunted, all this to have public water, we avoided that. And now we're having to pay all kinds of things for that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As an offset of how DOT, Department of Transportation, dealt with us, it's bled into our roads being behind and stuff like that. And now we're wondering whether or not whatever the number is that's probably going to run from Greensboro going south, that it may not come through Cumberland County, but it may wind up coming through Sanford and going through Lee County and Harnett County.
Yeah. I get all of that. You know, I want to make a comment. Lisette, she couldn't, she's in the comments. You mentioned about across the U.S., because I don't focus on the U.S. That we have the younger folks that they'll go deep diving into all those things. And she put a link as well that the same numbers of you saying data centers are across the country, there's also pushback across the country. And there's a link where you can read that. We have lots of links that people can.
I'm not denying that. Look, my thing is that at my age, whatever you decide to do, I'm probably not going to be able to see it. You see what I'm saying? In 20 years. I hope I live a long time.
If we can push it that far, guess what? I would love that for us, but then I would hate it for my children and grandchildren. I have to be responsible. I've had a lifetime where there was less technology and all the things, and I'm bringing that back, Church. I have no social media on my phone. That's why I have these two devices. When I leave, I have no email, nothing.
But you still have a phone.
So yes. Guess what? We're getting ready to go back to the landline. My daughter, they're having a fit. Okay. My daughters, we're all transitioning DVDs, landlines.
And you think that's going to help you?
I'm not for my family, because I'm getting even more micro.
I'm just asking now.
Yes, I'm slowing things.
Time is running down.
Yes.
I think we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
But look, what I'm just saying is that I give you last word. But my question I don't want to describe you as naysayers, but my question is there any place for compromise where we can use this technology moving forward? Because now, I'll be honest with you, I don't believe any efforts to inhibit this technology is going to work holistically. You may get in some areas you may choose not to do it, but I think that globally, and we're a part of a global world now, that you're not going to be able to stop it.
So coming back from globally, I have long sleeves on, but you can't see. I have 2 tattoos in my inner forearms. One says persistent, the other one says determination. I don't come from that mindset that everything is a done deal. So just putting that out there. Now, what's the compromise? Moratorium. Because as you just saw, when you run out of time, you can't get all the things that you need to say said. Like as a prime example today, we're at our time. So if we had a moratorium where we could extend, then that would be it. And I got the point, so
well, look,
there you go. Moratorium.
I've enjoyed you, and I think we need to come back, because there's more that need to be talked about.
Yes, I have 12 pages more.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that. And I'm hearing both sides. I heard you today, and I heard them yesterday. But I think that this community, both sides should be heard.
Yes.
And I think in a respectable way.
Yes.
Okay? Because I don't think either side's a bad guy. I looked over and I have a new producer. And
oh, wonderful.
Reverend Paul.
Yeah, kind of changed.
But anyway, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you again next time.
Same here.
You guys have a great rest of your day. We have Heartbeat coming up at 10 o'clock, and also MP3 at 11. Thank you so much.